Good morning, Cardiac. Good to speak to you again. I'm using a different system today. This is a different program that I'm using to record this because there's nothing wrong with the old system, um, but I just want to try something else out. I think this one might be actually faster. I'm going to turn this. No, it doesn't work. I'm getting this kind of sinister reflection in my glasses that I don't really like. It looks like I'm some sort of supervillain. Um, but I need my glasses to read. It's a real double bind situation here. Terrible weather outside. There's not much light on the situation, you see. Right. Yeah, big news this week. The evaluations. Now, the the problem for me has been down the years that we have one single evaluation form for everything. Yeah, and it's great if you're in class because you just give them all out and you stand by the door and you say no one's getting out of here until all these are filled in, right? But of course that's not the same with you lot. You know, I can send you through an email as many times as I want, an attachment, but you've got to open the attachment, save it to your machine, open it on your machine, fill it in, save it to your machine, go back into email, put it in as an attachment, and every single one of those steps is a step that someone might falter. So what happens is that for online courses, I get less than 10%. I mean, less than 10% of responses. The only people who send me it back are people who are very confident or people who've got something serious they want to get off their chest. You know what I mean? So it kind of skews the results a little bit. I'm not saying it's serious that they want to get off their chest bad. It might be serious they want to get off their chest good too, right? But the point is, I get incredibly low returns, and what this means is that when I go along to committee meetings where all our courses are reviewed, you know, I'll have like 90% face to face, 90% face to face, 80% face to face. Chris Jones online cardiac course 7%, and big questions get asked. You know, what's going wrong with your evaluations? So I've created just for your course a SurveyMonkey survey. Yeah, I think it's 9 or 10 questions. I'm not sure how well they're written even, but the point is that I've already had what 30 odd percent response on the SurveyMonkey thing, and it's that I want to talk about this morning. Really, the initial results. Um, so, number one, for the person who said, look, these are looking a little bit dated. You know, I've never seen thrombolysis, and I'm a recently qualified member of staff in a cardiology unit. All I'm going to say to that person, anonymous person, is you got my number. You put your finger right on it. Yeah, could not agree more. Now, there are whole sections dedicated to thrombolysis. I do appreciate that. I've got a lesson there on, you know, treatment of heart disease then, treatment of heart disease now. And on the now bit, I've got paramedic services. I've got someone who works in the coronary care unit now, and I've got a consultant talking about primary PCI. But I do take the point. Yeah, I do take the point. A lot of these interviews were done as the thrombolysis area was tailing out, and a lot of the issues that they raise in these lessons are still valid in many respects, but they do mention. Now, the way I've argued this to myself is, look, it's still worthwhile putting this stuff in, even if people are just getting a historical perspective on what went on very recently, you know. But of course, with every year that goes past, that argument gets thinner and thinner. So what I'm going to do this time, I want to be running this course once more, you know. So the idea of doing the whole thing again from scratch, I don't really find very appealing. And I didn't expect you lot to come forward, you know. I think it's the paramedics coming forward which have boosted the numbers up. So what I'm going to do next time is I'm going to review every one of the talks, and I'm going to edit out any. I'm going to, first of all, if the talk isn't relevant, it'll go. Yeah. If the talk isn't relevant, it'll go. But within the talk, if there's any reference to thrombolysis, I'm going to edit it out. You know, because after a while it starts to look Victorian, doesn't it? That's what I'm thinking. The other thing is about the paramedic. Good point someone made about. Good point somebody made about. This is a module which is pushed for paramedics, and there isn't an awful lot on it, which is pre-hospital. Yeah, but look, that's true. I can understand that. Yeah, but if you've got something to say and you would like to contribute, just get in touch. You know, you don't even have to come in. I can do an interview with you on a subject you think is relevant to paramedics, and we can do it over a computer like this, and it'll be great, and it'll look good on your CV, and, you know, everything about it will be beneficial. You know, on another course, get this, on another course, an awful lot of podiatrists came forward to do a course in vascular disease management that I run. Okay, so what I've done for that course is I've built a whole section, yeah, aimed just at podiatrists. Now the nurses and the physios and anyone else can go into that podiatry corner if they want, but they don't have to. On the other hand, there's a whole section there dedicated just to the podiatrists. There would be absolutely nothing wrong with me on this course, yeah, hiving off a section just for pre-hospital care, nothing whatsoever. But in fact, it would be a distinct advantage to me, because the podiatry course, the section of the podiatry course that I ran, I put that up as a free, non-credit bearing course, a so-called MOOC, open online course, and it went down a storm. I had podiatrists on that free course from New Zealand, Australia, Spain, Canada, all over the world. Yeah. So if you're interested, you paramedics, if you're interested in getting involved, you could either come in for an hour and we'd knock it out in the office, or we could do it online, whatever suits you best. Okay, that's that dealt with. I didn't understand the one about not clear enough what you want on the essay. Short of, I mean, it's in the handbook. There are examples of essays which have gone up. I don't know what more I can do, really. I mean, tell me what you want and I'll do it. I'm also, but here's the thing. That's one side of the equation, yeah. But here's the thing. I've seen a couple already, even in draft form, which I think a journal editor would go for, you know. So be thinking about that. And if you do that, right, if you do go down the route of really submitting your thing, then give the little course a nod. You know what I mean? Just say, did this whilst on Edge Hill's online cardiac care course. Right. Okay. Finished essays. I'm getting one or two now, which are finished submission. Yeah. And I'm going to mark them early. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. You've no idea what a personal favour that is for me. If I can start getting some of the things through early. Of course, nothing's ever 100% good or 100% bad. You know, there's a moral dilemma for the market involved in all this, because if a person's handed you a finished thing, they say it's finished. Okay, but you spot a big mistake in it. If you spot a big mistake in it and you're marking it as a finished thing, are you justified in going back to the student and saying, look, I know you've said this is finished, but do you realise? I mean, thankfully that doesn't happen often. And, you know, maybe you could consider it an extra advantage of submitting early. That, you know, if there is something terribly wrong, you will get the nod. But I'm not suggesting, I haven't looked at anybody's finished articles on this module yet. I'm just saying this in general. It's an in general problem. What else have I got here? Oh yeah, this week's stuff. Two things. We've got Phil Saltmarsh, who used to be a palliative care nurse at the Royal Liverpool Hospital. And Phil is talking about palliative care in cardiology. Now, Phil, ex-student of mine, who went on to this job, he was part of the team that developed the Liverpool Care of the Dying Pathway. And he doesn't have a lot to say on that in the interview that I did with him, because it was still live, it was still in the papers, you know. But Phil's an interesting fella. I think it was in this interview he dropped the bombshell. Yeah, he said, I'm nearly qualified. What do you mean you're nearly qualified? Thinking he was talking about nursing. But he said, I'm training to be a Church of England vicar. What? Really? You know, he's one of the lads. He's always been a very sort of down-to-earth character, but he's taken on the parish. I'd say one of the toughest, roughest, poorest parishes in Liverpool, which has got to be one of the toughest, roughest, poorest parishes in the country. So I'm lost in admiration for this fella, really, you know. Anyway, the other thing that I've put up is a Radio 4 documentary called How to Have a Good Death, which analyses some of the issues involved in looking after people who are dying. So I hope you find them interesting. Please, please, please keep the SurveyMonkey responses coming in. I want 100% if possible. And other than that, I'll see you next week. Bye now.